KMBC 9 investigates the mayor pro tem, the allegations against Rayna Park Shaw, and her response on social media.
Okay, and we've got some big changes on the way as we head into the weekend. Tomorrow, more of this warm weather. That's going to continue on with our highs in the 70s, but we're much colder for the weekend. I'll show you when our temperatures drop coming up.
The Clintons are now testifying in an investigation into Jeffrey Epstein, the claims from the former Secretary of State.
From Kansas City's news leader, this is KMBC 9 News at 4.
Kansas City Mayor pro tem Rayna Park Shaw is now responding to claims against her. There are reports she's the subject of an FBI investigation. I'm Matt Fleener in for Laura.
And I'm Jamie Weiss in for Kelly Eckerman. KMBC 9's Andy Alcock has been digging into this story all day long. He joins us live at City Hall. And Andy, what is Park Shaw saying now?
Yeah, Jamie, Park Shaw briefly addressed her colleagues a short time ago. She said she's unaware of any FBI investigation and she would cooperate with authorities if contacted. Park Shaw was responding to a report claiming she's a target of an FBI investigation. Now, that report also claims her husband, Michael Shaw, who's the city's director of public works, is also the subject of that FBI investigation. Rayna Park Shaw is running for mayor. The election is next year. Today, Park Shaw posted a video on Instagram to address claims her husband has been soliciting campaign contributions for his wife from company executives with pending city permits.
I will not allow such false and egregious accusations about me and my family to go unchecked. As I sit and reflect on these misleading headlines, I think about one word: integrity. Integrity is not something that you turn on and off. It's how you live, it's how you lead, and it's who I am.
Now, we have checked. There are no criminal charges against Rayna Park Shaw or her husband. Coming up at 5 and 6, we will hear from Park Shaw again and also hear from Mayor Quinton Lucas about this issue. Reporting live outside City Hall, Andy Alcock, KMBC 9 News.
Andy, thank you. And in a statement, the city manager, Mario Vasquez, did not comment on any ongoing FBI investigations. The city will conduct its own internal review.
Well, now to First Alert weather with meteorologist Neville Miller. Neville, sunny and mild today, then the wind picks up tomorrow.
It does, Matt, and really that's going to be the only complaint for Friday because it's just going to be a great day. So let's first talk about how things look right now. There's that sunshine, and it's 64 degrees outside. It's still February, but it feels more like April with these warm temperatures. The wind is relatively light, and that humidity at 28%, it's low. So our air is dry, and like I mentioned, the wind's going to pick up tomorrow. So with the dry air in place, the dry conditions, the stronger wind, the warm temperatures, we've got that fire danger risk. So there is a fire weather watch for the northern half of the area, and this includes part of the metro here, Platte County, Clay County, also parts of it looks like Wyandotte County and Leavenworth. But all of us, you just want to be aware that there is that heightened fire danger. In fact, on Future Scan, we can pick up on that as we go through our day on Friday. By midday, you start to see more of that orange showing up, and then going through the afternoon with those windy conditions, we do get that higher danger of any sort of grass fires that they do develop spreading very quickly. So something we'll be monitoring. Beyond that, enjoy the warm weather. If we hit 74, that would break our record high for tomorrow of 73 degrees. We turn much colder over the weekend. I'll time out those changes coming up.
Our First Alert weather team will update you after each new model run ahead of Sunday's Impact Day. If you haven't already, download our KMBC 9 app. You'll have easy access to our weather blog.
A 5-vehicle crash on 435 impacted several people's drives this morning. Take a look at this video here. Leawood police tell us this was a rear ender during the rush hour. It happened in the westbound lanes near Lee Boulevard. First responders blocked a few lanes off. Someone on the scene did hurt their hand, but they refused to be transported to the hospital. No one else was hurt. And earlier this week in Liberty, a rear ender with much different results was caught by an officer's dash cam. You take a look here on the left corner of the screen. That SUV was disabled at the stoplight. The car behind did not notice, and it slammed into the back, and then its hood ended up underneath that SUV.
Crazy to see. Wow. All right, News Chapter 9's Johnny Rollins looking over traffic right now, and what is it looking like, John?
Well, we're looking at I-435 southbound here, about halfway between the Missouri River and Front Street, and actually kind of trying to figure out what's going on. Now, we did have a slowdown. I was going to talk about that a minute ago from 24 Highway back towards Front Street, and that was kind of dissipating in right in front of my eyes, and I took a look upstream here, and here we have this semi and the car. I don't know if they've been involved in a wreck, but Kind of looks like that. I would think the semi would go around if it was just a stalled vehicle. Some folks having a tough time getting around the semi in that regard. Anyway, this just happened, so not much of a backup. It'll be about halfway back to the Missouri River, but I imagine if we don't get something moving there pretty soon, even with 2 lanes open, this could turn into a different story with a pretty sizable backup. Johnny Rollins, News Chopper 9, back to you in the studio.
All right, Johnny, thank you very much. Drive times right now, 24 minutes, a little slow downtown to Lee Summit. Downtown to Blue Springs, you're at 25 minutes, also a bit slow there along I-70. And 35 southbound downtown to Olathe, 24 minutes, you're in the green.
Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton says she has no information regarding the investigations into Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell.
Now, the House Oversight Committee deposed Clinton behind closed doors today. The Department of Justice says it's looking into whether the government improperly withheld Epstein documents. ABC's Perry Russum is in New York.
A motorcade carrying Hillary Clinton arriving in Chappaqua, New York today, where the former Secretary of State was deposed behind closed doors about her ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Her husband, former President Bill Clinton, facing members of the House Oversight Committee tomorrow.
No one's accusing at this moment the Clintons of any wrongdoing. They're going to have due process, but we have a lot of questions, and the purpose of the whole investigation is to try to understand many things about Epstein.
Hillary Clinton sharing her opening statement to the committee today, saying in part, the committee justified its subpoena to me based on its assumption that I have information regarding the investigations into the criminal activities of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Let me be clear as I can, I do not. She has long denied having any relationship with Epstein. Bill Clinton was friendly with Epstein for years. The former president says he cut ties with Epstein years before any allegations of sexual exploitation against Epstein came to light. He has also denied any wrongdoing and any knowledge of Epstein's crimes. No Epstein survivor or associate has ever made a public allegation of wrongdoing or inappropriate behavior by Clinton.
I'm glad that President Clinton will sit down with us tomorrow and answer questions about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, but I wanted to come today to ensure that this is a serious exercise, a serious investigation, and not a political or partisan one.
The deposition's happening as the Department of Justice says it's reviewing whether some interview reports were improperly tagged in the review process and kept out of the public release of the Epstein files. Democratic Congressman Robert Garcia alleges the DOJ withheld dozens of pages of witness notes and reports about an alleged victim of Jeffrey Epstein who accused President Trump of assaulting her when she was a minor. President Trump has consistently denied all allegations and any wrongdoing in connection to Epstein. Appearing in the files is not evidence of wrongdoing.
Pam Bondi and the president need to answer to where those files are. And that's going to continue to drive our work, not just today, but every single day until we get justice for the survivors.
And then back to the deposition today was briefly paused after a picture was leaked from inside the room that is against committee rules. The deposition was recorded on video. It could be released in the coming days. Perry Russum, ABC News, New York.
Former President Bill Clinton will face questions from the House Oversight Committee tomorrow.
Our Hearst data team is getting the facts on who is facing fallout from the Epstein files. From those facing criminal charges to those resigning from positions of power, we have an interactive timeline right now on our free KMBC 9 News app.
Some Massachusetts neighborhoods are still waiting for a way out. A feet of snow that plows are having a hard time getting through.
An Atchison grocery store is closing after more than a century in business. The emotions the owners are feeling 6 generations later.
And the first match of the season is approaching for the Kansas City Current. We're hearing from the players about their excitement to be back on the pitch.
Your source for first alert weather and News Chopper 9, Kansas City's news leader, KMBC 9 News.
Some slow snow cleanup is leading to some frustration in Massachusetts.
One city is still waiting for plows to come through, so some people are still stuck at home. Nearly 30 inches of snow fell in Taunton. It's about 45 minutes south of Boston. The mayor is assuring people the crews are working around the clock.
I mean, looking at that video, it's kind of crazy. So, Neville, New England had back-to-back snowfalls just this week. Are they going to be in the clear when it comes to any future cleanup?
Well, they're going to get several days here, Jamie and Matt, to hopefully get things cleaned up. But they could see some more snow towards the middle of next week. So we'll keep an eye on that for them. As far as how things look right now, pretty quiet. So good news for the Northeast. Our weather is beautiful here in the middle of the country. Tomorrow we're warm and windy. Saturday doesn't look bad, but this cold front moves through and that will start to drop our temperatures as we head through our day on Saturday. More notably on Sunday, we're colder, and that's when some wintry weather could move in. So I'm going to take a closer look at your Sunday timeline. I'll explain why it's an impact day for you and when we could see some heavy rain in the area. I'll have more on that coming up in a few more minutes.
All right, Neville, it is the final days of business for Van Dyke's Grocery. We're visiting Atchison, where longtime customers are devastated by the news.
A nonprofit is paying first responders a visit with some special guests. The positive impact this has on everyone involved.
And the Kansas City Current, just a couple of weeks away from its opening match, we're introducing you to faces you'll see on the field.
Committed to serving our neighbors in Kansas and Missouri, Kansas City's news leader, KMBC 9 News.
A corner store staple in Atchison is closing down for good, taking with it over 100 years of history. Van Dyke's Grocery has served generations of families.
Now it can't compete with bigger grocery store deals. KMBC 9's Krista Tatchell talked to the owner about the legacy he's leaving.
For decades and decades, when you stepped off the curb crossing the street at 4th and Atchison, you were probably heading to Van Dyke's. It's a grocery store that's been here since 1906, but in 2 more weeks, it will close its doors for good. Word has spread quickly that Van Dyke's cases will soon be completely empty. The stocked shelves will follow.
All right, thanks, Rox.
Goods being whittled down day by day.
Thank you, ma'am.
The store has been in the same family for 120 years, 6 generations. And in a city where there were once 73 similar groceries, Van Dyke's is the last standing family-owned corner store. When the final cash count comes, the shop and its remaining equipment will be sold, but memories remain of the place that welcomed you in by your first name, had a turkey sandwich at the ready, as well as a darn good deal.
There hadn't been very many quiet moments here the last couple of days with the announcement, but yeah, when you see some of those faces come around the corner, and it really hits you that this could be the last time I see them, and going to miss their conversation.
Krista Tatchell, KMBC 9 News.
The Van Dykes family says that they're going to stay open as long as they have supplies. They also ask all longtime customers to stop on in, say goodbye.
Well, Kansas City Mayor Quinton Lucas is trying to find a solution to concerns over Costco in Midtown. The store near Linwood Boulevard and Main Street could change to a business center. Neighbors say they're worried about losing easy access to essential goods. Mayor Lucas says conversations with Costco are productive. He says the city will, quote, continue to do all we can to ensure the store remains a key provider of food, goods, and services.
4:16 on your Thursday afternoon. News Chopper 9's Johnny Rollins flying over a Kansas City staple. Johnny, what are we looking at right now?
Yeah. Well, this is going to be the new Morton Amphitheater. A lot of folks, if you've heard about that, wondering where it is. Well, it's right along the Missouri River here as we are coming up to 635. So it's just to the north and east of 635 and nestled right there along the river. Boy, that place is massive, too. A lot of good acts headed in that direction. As we take a look at your first alert traffic, here's 635, and looking good through here. The run across the river from the Missouri to the Kansas side, looking good with no issues here whatsoever. Johnny Rollins, News Chopper 9, back to you in the studio.
All right, Johnny, thank you. Quick check of your drive times this afternoon. Downtown to Lee Summit, 26 minutes. Slight slowdown there, but all good along I-70 westbound. Downtown to Bonner Springs, just 14 minutes. Downtown into Olathe will take you 22 minutes this afternoon.
Well, soccer season less than a month away. The Current hungry to start a new year after a record-setting season.
KMBC 9's Taylor Kaufman was at the training facility today as the team preps for the upcoming season.
We're in Riverside, Missouri at the Kansas City Current training facility. The Current back in Kansas City after spending the preseason in California. That was the first look at what this new team is going to look like. There was a lot of rebuilding in the offseason from the roster up to the coaching staff. Chris Armas, the new head coach of this team, and all of them together are excited to see what they can do in 2026.
Obviously, we have a new group of girls this year, but I think the past month in preseason already has been such different from when we first got here. So I think just super excited to get the season started and see how this goes.
The superpower for me is going to be that we're putting the team first with everything we do, and everyone's wrapping their minds around scoring goals, that everything we do is to attack. So yeah, we've had a good month or so.
Well, as we know, there was a lot of change in the offseason, but there was also a lot of change here at the facilities as well. They've officially rolled out the Performance Center here in Riverside, and they're also working on the fields out here as well because, as we know, Netherlands is using this as their home camp for the World Cup, but also this is growth for the Kansas City Current for the years to come. From Riverside, Missouri, I'm Taylor Kaufman, KMBC 9 News.
The KC Current opened up the season at home against the Utah Royals on Saturday, March 14th. I can only hope we'll have good weather by then.
Yeah. I just heard Taylor say something. She said a lot of change, and I feel like that's what we're
this forecast.
That's what we're in for.
Right, and we're going to see a lot of change here over the next 72 hours. So we're going to get some 70s, a record high potentially tomorrow afternoon. So it's going to feel like May. Along with that, it'll be windy, and because of the wind and the low humidity and the dry conditions all put together, there'll be a higher fire danger. Main thing with that, any sort of prescribed burns or anything, I would hold off on doing that. Even the cigarette butts, make sure those are put out properly because those can cause grass fires and they can spread very quickly with the conditions that we're going to see for tomorrow. So beyond that, get outside and enjoy that great weather because by Sunday, it'll be much colder. So we go from 70s tomorrow to 30s on Sunday with rain and a wintry mix likely for much of the area. And we're really going to be monitoring those temperatures on Sunday very closely. Tomorrow, the only thing with the temperatures will be, do we hit records? 70 high in Maysville, 73 for St. Joseph, 74 in Atchison Friday afternoon around the metro. The record high for Kansas City is 73. Our forecast, 74. How about 76 for Lee Summit and Overland Park, Olathe, and Liberty? All in the middle 70s, and then south of the metro, more of those mid to even upper 70s. So again, it's going to feel a lot more like May instead of late February. Now, as we head into the weekend, we will start to see some changes. So on Saturday, a cold front moves through, so it's not going to be as warm, especially up north. Low to mid 50s in northern Missouri. Around the metro, I'd say low to mid 60s, possibly upper 60s on the south side of the metro. 70s again for you if you live southward. And then on Sunday, that's when the cold air gets here. with our high temperatures only being in the 30s and that wintry weather as well. So Sunday, that's our impact day. Nick and Katie were talking about that this morning. Tomorrow, we do have that fire danger because of the wind and the low humidity. Otherwise, beautiful day. Close to 70 by lunchtime. Maybe have lunch outside if you can. Mid-70s for the afternoon. Sunny. It's hard to believe it's late February. Saturday, low 60s, but colder changes will be rolling in from north to south. And on Sunday, we've got that weather impact day for you, a high of only 35 degrees. So that's about a 40-degree drop from tomorrow to Sunday as far as our high temperatures go. We'll be holding near freezing through the day, and there's still some wiggle room. Maybe we'll be a touch warmer, but we could potentially be holding maybe upper 20s to lower 30s there through most of the day. So keep checking back in. We'll likely have some changes there. Rain and wintry mix is likely, and there is that possibility of seeing accumulating snow and ice for parts of the area as well. So that could impact our travel conditions on Sunday. Monday, we are looking drier, cloudy, upper 30s, but in general, next week is going to be an active week for us. Rain and even thunderstorm chances nearly daily. Highs will start to warm back up into the 60s by Thursday of next week. So that'll be a week that you'll want to make sure you have your umbrella handy with those rain chances coming in. And here's Future Scan on Sunday. So it looks like a slightly later start potentially of that wintry mix. And as we go through the afternoon, you see that pink and that blue right over the top of us. So again, more updates to come. Keep checking back in and we'll make sure you have the latest info.
Thank you, Neville. We know you're going to be on top of it for us. Well, Kansas lawmakers could soon vote on a bill that will renew the Star Bonds program, which was set to expire in July. The measure would require Star Bond projects to draw at least 30% of visitors from 100 miles away and 20% of visitors from outside the state of Kansas. There would be some different requirements for rural developments, and this would also bar cities from using eminent domain to acquire property for Star Bonds projects. It would also ban the use of state general fund dollars to repay any Star Bonds debt. The bill was approved today by the House with amendments, and now it's going to head back to the Senate for review. But remember, 4 major projects in the metro are using Star Bonds right now. This includes the new American Royal facility. There's also that proposed Mattel theme park in Bonner Springs. And of course, the Kansas City Chiefs moved to Kansas. Star Bond projects will help build a team headquarters and practice facility out in Olathe and that new dome stadium in Kansas City, Kansas. The U.S. and Iran end another round of talks. The concessions each side wants to see from the other, leading to a stall.
Honoring a civil rights icon. The service is starting now for the late Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Leawood firefighters get a fun visit. The benefit it brings both them and these puppies who are almost up for adoption.
And a longtime pit master at Arthur Bryant's passes away. On KMBC 9 News at 5, hear from Wayne Garrett on his love for the Kansas City staple.
Being a first responder can be stressful, but these little guys can help with that.
We've been staring at this video here for the past couple minutes as it's been rolling. A local nonprofit brought relaxation and love to firefighters in Leawood this morning. KMBC9's Brittany Foster was at Fire Station 1 for this special visit.
Puppies and smiles have taken over the Leawood Fire Station 1 thanks to one local organization.
The nonprofit Positive Tales delivered a bunch of puppies to Leawood firefighters earlier today to thank our first responders, show support, and boost morale.
How many station dogs do we need?
It's the second year of their first responder puppygrams, and the rescue hopes to do more in the future.
We do puppygrams all of the time. We go to corporations. We also go to retirement homes, which is lots of fun. But we started this last year where we really wanted to say thank you to our first responders.
Let's give someone else some attention, okay?
On top of bringing joy to our first responders and the community, the puppies also benefit during the puppygrams. Being around people helps them gain socialization skills and provides access to potential adopters. Not to mention, they also get a ton of attention and love. All the puppies are fixed and ready to be adopted. If you would like to adopt one or check out the rescue's grown dogs that are also looking for their forever home, go to positivetaleskc.org. You can also find information on fostering and volunteering on their website. At Leawood Fire Station 1, Brittany Foster, KMBC 9 News.
I just feel like looking at that video, it just has to put you in a good mood.
Yeah, I'm in much better now. Yeah, it's unbelievable to see the good that they're doing, and I have gotten a puppygram before, and
I heard from Channel 9 a few years ago.
Channel 9 a few years ago, she was an amazing dog, absolutely amazing dog. So yeah, hopefully you can do some adopting in your future for sure. Yeah, awesome, cool. Well, life is slowly returning to normal in the Northeast after a brutal blizzard. The one state still dealing with power outages.
Reverend Jesse Jackson is now lying in repose at the organization he founded. The other services planned for him across the country.
High-stakes diplomacy in the Middle East. I'm Amy Liu at the White House with the nuclear talks between the U.S. and Iran and the looming threat of U.S. military force.
Committed to serving our neighbors in Kansas and Missouri, Kansas City's news leader, KMBC 9 News.
KMBC 9 is looking into reports of an FBI investigation into the mayor pro tem of Kansas City, Missouri.
In 3 minutes, we're going to share the response she posted on social media just hours ago. First, a possible last push for democracy in the Middle East. Nuclear talks between the U.S. and Iran ended just hours ago with no deal.
Now, our Washington correspondent Amy Liu is live at the White House. And Amy, you've watched the talks today unfold. What were the takeaways here?
Matt and Jamie, Iran's foreign minister, for example, called these talks some of the country's most intense and longest rounds of negotiations, adding that they have clearly laid out their position. Ahead of the talks, President Donald Trump also drew a hard line, saying and warning in his State of the Union address earlier this week that he will use military force if Iran does not back down from building its nuclear program.
My preference is to solve this problem through diplomacy. But one thing is certain, I will never allow the world's #1 sponsor of terror, which they are by far, to have a nuclear weapon. Can't let that happen.
The president has sent U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and son-in-law Jared Kushner, among others pictured here, to negotiate. The group is meeting with Oman's foreign minister, acting as mediator for the indirect talks with Iran. If negotiations fail, the U.S. says it may strike and has reinforced the region with several military assets. The Pentagon has deployed its largest fleet of warships and aircraft to the region in decades. Iran says it's ready to make a deal solely on its nuclear program, but the U.S. is demanding more, including a complete stop to Iran's uranium enrichment, ballistic missile system, and its support for militant groups across the Middle East.
Beyond just the nuclear program, they possess these conventional weapons that are solely designed to attack America and attack Americans if they so choose to do so. These things have to be addressed.
And more technical negotiations are expected to happen in Vienna next week. Back to you.
And Amy, the president's threat of using military force in the region, if these talks fail, has drawn some criticism here. Why are lawmakers now stepping in?
We know that House Democrats have long argued that the power to authorize and declare war is a power solely designated for Congress, not for the president. And so Democratic leadership is now announcing they plan to force a House war powers vote next week, as soon as next week. And in doing so, if they get it approved, that would legally require President Donald Trump to terminate any sort of military action against Iran, unless he has explicit approval through a declaration of war. Again, through Congress. Back to you.
Amy Lou, live at the White House. Amy, thanks. There is some more history behind this. The War Powers Resolution was passed in 1973 during the Nixon administration. Lawmakers wanted to make sure they could have a role in armed conflicts that were not formally declared as war. Now to our KMBC9 investigation. There are claims that Kansas City's Mayor Pro Tem is the subject of an FBI investigation.
And some of these claims involve her husband, too. KMBC9's Bria Berry is here in studio to explain. Bria?
Well, that's right. Raina Park Shaw's husband, Michael Shaw, serves as Kansas City's Director of Public Works. The claims allege he solicited campaign donations for his wife from executives with pending city permits. Right now, Park Shaw is running for mayor of Kansas City, Missouri. The election is set for next year. She is responding to those allegations in an Instagram post about 3 hours ago. Here's part of that response.
As a public servant, I have been a strict steward of taxpayer funds to carry out the duties of serving Kansas City residents. I have always lived with the understanding that this seat does not belong to me. It belongs to the people of the 5th District and to Kansas City as a whole. Every vote, every decision, every partnership has been rooted in that responsibility.
Now, we also reached out to the FBI. The agency says it can neither confirm nor deny whether an investigation exists, citing Justice Department policy. Jamie.
Bria, thank you. And on KMBC9 News at 5, Andy Alcock will join us live from City Hall. He was able to speak with the mayor about these allegations. He'll share that conversation in less than 30 minutes.
Let's get to First Alert weather. And Neville, you're watching two things tomorrow.
Yeah, the possibility of a record high and fire dangers.
Yes. So Jamie and Matt watching those two things. So the main thing is try to get outside and enjoy the great weather that we're going to see. And the other thing, hey, don't do any burns tomorrow because it's going to be windy and dry. Right now, it's not too bad. We're sunny. We're holding in the 60s, 64 degrees. Remember, our normal highs should be in the upper 40s, so we are well warmer than that. The wind is relatively light, and you see the humidity there at 28%. So our air is dry right now, and it's going to stay dry heading into our day tomorrow. Let's talk about those forecast high temperatures for your Friday. Again, we should be in the upper 40s. The record high is 73 degrees, which we've hit 3 times now. In fact, twice in the last 10 years. And our forecast, 74 for Kansas City. So that would break the record. In fact, all of us should at least get into the lower 70s. I wouldn't be surprised to see a few areas in the upper 70s. So it'll be warm. Let me show you that fire danger threat. Heading towards the middle of the day, notice the colors here in our fire danger risk. You start to see more of that orange and red popping through the afternoon. That's a look at 3 o'clock on your Friday. That risk goes down heading into the evening. So again, it's mainly during the afternoon on Friday with that fire danger. For the weekend, we've got some big changes coming in. I'll let you know when we're much colder and when a wintry mix arrives coming up.
All right, thank you, Neville. Well, some streets still aren't plowed after a historic blizzard dropped 40 inches of snow in parts of the Northeast.
Some people returning to work and school today. Now the focus is on cleanup and repairs. In New Jersey, the roof of this ice skating rink partially collapsed. Look at that. In Philadelphia, a video shows a man getting hit by a wall of snow from a passing plow. Now, it happened while he was shoveling.
It kind of jarred me, threw me into the car that was kind of next to me, which is right behind us. If that wasn't there, I probably would have fell down.
Glad he's all right. Several people have died from the storm. At least 6 of them are due to heart issues while shoveling. All right, News Chopper 9's Johnny Rollins up above Kansas City right now. Johnny, what are we seeing?
Well, it's pretty quiet up here in the Northland. We're taking a look at the I-35 run, headed up to Kearney at the top of the screen there. I-35 after the 69 highway split here. Coming out of Liberty, looking good. You can see traffic really light through here. Not seeing any problems at all. Moving right along. Johnny Rollins, News Chopper 9, back to you in the studio.
Okay, Johnny, drive times downtown up to the airport, the other way, away from Kearney here, 29 northbound, 26 minutes downtown to Liberty, up where near Johnny is, 18 minutes, slow going there along 35 northbound and 70 westbound downtown out toward the Legends, 16 minutes as we speak.
People are honoring the late civil rights leader, Reverend Jesse Jackson. He died last week from a rare brain disease. Jackson's body is scheduled to lie in repose today and tomorrow at the Rainbow Push Coalition headquarters. That's the organization he founded in Chicago. On Monday, he will lie in state inside the South Carolina State Capitol before a public service. Another service will take place in D.C. on Wednesday. Several Chicago venues will be set to host additional celebrations of life.
Flooding threatens a Hawaii island. The debris, heavy rains have washed up against homes.
Getting answers on 911 wait times, the improvements the city has made in the last 2 years.
The NFL Combine starts today. The drill's top prospects are running right now.
Your source for first alert weather and News Chopper 9, Kansas City.
Well, residents in a community in Hawaii are raising concerns over debris caused by recent flooding.
Yeah, take a look at this video here. Heavy rain led to a stream overflowing last week. It left behind this pile of wood and trash. The debris came from a nearby junkyard and a homeless encampment. Residents say they're worried about the impacts the debris could have the next time that stream floods.
Next time the thing gonna rain, nobody move this, we'll have the same incident again. Our homes will be in jeopardy, and we're just in a bad situation and we need help.
The state's Department of Land and Natural Resources said it has prioritized the cleanup of all that debris.
Crazy to see. Neville joining us now. Neville, you've been talking about precipitation. Thankfully, no flood risk, though.
Right. We're not quite seeing that yet, but next week will be a more active week for us. In fact, really one of our first wet weeks that we've had this year, and for a long time, really looking at it like that, too. So let me show you what's ahead for us. On Sunday, rain and a wintry mix, that looks likely. So we're still monitoring for that. We've been talking about that the last several days. And then next week, it looks active and it looks rainy for us. So we'll have rain opportunities nearly every day as we go through next week. In fact, potential rain here over the next 7 days. Check this out. We do need the moisture. We are in drought. We could see between 1 to 3 inches of rain over the next week. So we are going to be monitoring those rainy trends. But before we get to next week's wet weather, we have to get through this weekend's wintry weather, and I'll have much more on your rain and snow and wintry mix timeline, plus who has the highest chance of seeing accumulating snow. That's in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Neville. Well, 911 wait times are improving in Kansas City, Missouri. We're walking you through the new data.
Consumer Reports wants to keep you safe at home. The habits you can start now to make sure you're breathing in clean air.
Drills are starting at the NFL Combine. The positions up first.
Committed to serving our neighbors in Kansas and Missouri. Kansas City's news leader, KMBC 9 News.
In Christian County, Missouri, the community will gather to honor 2 sheriff's deputies killed in the line of duty.
Deputies Gabriel Ramirez, Michael Hyslop died after being shot by a suspect this week. On Friday, there will be a public visitation for Ramirez. It is from 5 to 8 p.m. at James River Church in Ozark. On Saturday, there will be funeral services for both deputies. That's at 1 p.m. also at James River Church. A procession follows, ending at Green Lawn Funeral Home. There will not be a graveside service.
KMBC 9 Investigates is getting answers about the status of 911 wait times in Kansas City, Missouri. There has been an extra push to keep times down before the World Cup.
KMBC 9's Brian Johnson walks us through what's been done to get the average wait time down to 20 seconds now.
911 wait times are down 60% according to the Kansas City Police. In 2025, they hired 38 new call takers and 9 dispatchers. As of January, the average emergency hold time was 20 seconds.
I can recall a couple of years ago when we had a very different conversation about our call center, and to see how far we have come in those 2 years.
The president of the Board of Police Commissioners sees that as a major improvement. The city is trying to boost worker morale. Even with the added personnel, call takers are responding to 17.57 calls per hour, well above the 10 per hour recommendation.
Several times, nobody come, or they don't pick the phone up, or it's always busy. Never. I might as well do it myself. I'm so serious.
Kansas City now has 50 call takers. That's less than half the national recommendation, which is set at 105. The city also has 30 dispatchers, which is also half the national recommendation, set at 64.
If they answer, it's hold on, but no, it's usually put on hold and then you're there for a couple of minutes.
Many taxpayers say the service is unreliable. The city says non-emergency hold times are nearly 3 minutes. Thomas Reynolds works at a nearby hotel and says they are often put on hold.
A lot of times it's an emergency and it's like, dude, get here now.
They need to do something because that's ridiculous. We don't get no help.
The city wants hold times to keep dropping as we get closer to the World Cup. In Kansas City, Brian Johnson, KMBC 9 News.
About 1 million 911 calls are made in Kansas City, Missouri each year. The city would need to spend about $3 million to expand its current call center. Well, the NFL Combine is getting started in Indianapolis right now.
And place kickers, linebackers, and defensive linemen took to the field this afternoon. Drills like the 40-yard dash and the vertical jump started at 2. The Chiefs are looking for some help when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. The team is predicted by some to take a defensive lineman or pass rusher high up in the draft. Earlier this week, GM Brett Veach said the team's positioning in the draft gives them an edge in several rounds.
I think every GM kind of has that mindset where, unless you have the first pick, there's a certain element that you can't control, and you have to let the dominoes fall, if you will. But, we're excited. I mean, we don't want to be picking 9 every year, but we're excited to add some young talent to this roster. And I think even more excitingly, those second, third rounds where it felt like years past, day one would end, we'd come in there and there'd be 5 or 6 players, but you knew at 32 in round 2 you wouldn't get them either. So it's not just the first round. I think we have an opportunity to really capitalize here and add a lot of talent throughout the course of the draft weekend.
Well, players have been in Indianapolis since Monday. Tomorrow, tight ends and defensive backs will take the field. Saturday, we'll see quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running backs. And then on Sunday, the O-linemen will wrap things up. The NFL Draft is in Pittsburgh this year. It'll start April 23rd.
Well, now is the best time to prepare for spring allergies. You could start by using steroid nasal sprays. Doctors say they reduce inflammation, swelling, and mucus. Most sprays should be done once a day year-round, and if you take an allergy pill, start taking it before whatever you're allergic to blooms. In the U.S., trees are usually first, and it's grass season in late April.
If you tend to have really severe eye symptoms where you really have a lot of daily itch, then the eye drops are also a nice addition to the regimen.
Got a whole repertoire there of whatever you need. Pollen counts are highest in the morning, so keep your windows closed. That's so hard to do sometimes in the spring because you just want to fling them open.
Well, and
right?
especially when it feels like spring in February.
It does. That's just been so weird because I've had several days this month where I could open the windows up. In fact, even today, just out at the park, it was
so beautiful.
It's so beautiful. It really is. 60s today, and then tomorrow we're going to be in the 70s. We're going to make a run at a record high temperature. We've already hit a record high earlier this month, along with the warm weather for tomorrow. There's going to be a high fire danger, and all you need to know for that is really no burns tomorrow because any of those fires can spread very quickly. Even cigarette butts, make sure those are put out properly because those can cause grass fires, and with the windy and dry conditions, those fires can spread very quickly. So we just want to make sure you're aware of that. And then as we go through the weekend, big changes roll in. We're going to be a lot colder by Sunday. Highs will only be in the 30s, and we'll likely have rain and a wintry mix moving in. So we're going to be keeping an eye on those changes, especially going through the day on Sunday. Tomorrow, it'll be great. Get outside if you're able to. We'll get those highs in the low to mid 70s, even a few upper 70s are possible. Kansas City's record high is 73 degrees. We've hit that 3 times since 1888. In fact, 2 of those times have been in the last 10 years. Tomorrow, we will likely break that record. Then on Saturday, a cold front moves through, and that will have an impact on our temperature. So around the metro, it really depends on where you live, and it depends on the exact timing of this front. We'll have highs anywhere from the lower 60s to near 70 degrees. Farther north, northern Missouri, northern Kansas, low to mid 50s for you. Farther south, you get another day in the 70s down towards Garnett, Lacine, over towards Clinton and Warsaw. But for all of us, it will be turning colder by the time we get into Sunday, as our temperatures only top out in the 30s Sunday afternoon. So going through the next 9 days, tomorrow, sunny, windy. Because of the dry conditions, we have that fire danger. Otherwise, it's going to feel like May. Just a great day. Near 70 by lunchtime, mid 70s for the afternoon. On Saturday, I mentioned that colder air starts to move in, so we start to see some colder changes, more notably though on Sunday. We have that weather impact as our temperatures are going to hang out in the 30s. We'll see rain and a wintry mix, and Sunday's one of those days where a few degrees in one direction or another direction will make a big difference on what we see, along with the timing of when this moisture actually moves in. So keep checking back in. We're going to certainly keep you updated there for Sunday. Monday looks drier, but still cloudy, 39 for a high. But then look at the rest of next week. It's active, and not just rain showers, maybe even some thunderstorms potentially. We'll start warming up as we go through the week, back into the 60s by Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And again, we've got those rain chances just about every day next week. Monday, as of now, again, looks like the driest day once we get past the weekend here. So on Sunday, though, there's that weather impact. Temperatures are going to hold near freezing. Rain and a wintry mix are likely, so it's not one of those things where we're not going to get anything. We'll see something, but we're still working on the fine details here, and there is that potential of seeing accumulations of snow and ice. So we'll be monitoring the temperatures really closely. Here's FutureScan at noon on Sunday. So we're seeing a slightly slower onset or start of that moisture coming in. Notice as we head through the afternoon Sunday, snow, potentially that wintry mix continues, and then it tapers off as we head into our Sunday evening, late and Sunday night. And as far as who has the best chance of picking up an inch of snow at least, north and east of the metro up towards Trenton, Chillicothe, and Cameron. But as you can see here, for the most part, those numbers are pretty low.
Yeah, they definitely are. But you know, Neville, I'm a firm believer it's never too cold for ice cream. And that's good news because Bluebell is releasing a new flavor. It is honey vanilla. So this is the first new flavor of the new year. It's going to arrive in stores starting today. Bluebell says this is for people who love simple flavors done right. It'll be available in pint size for a limited time.
And if you like burgers, Burger King is giving the iconic Whopper a makeover. The burger will now come on a premium bun with creamier mayo and will be served in a clamshell box instead of paper wrapping. Now, the changes come after years of complaints about smashed Whoppers that were falling apart. It'll roll out this week. The upgraded burger, it's going to cost franchise owners more, but Burger King is urging them not to raise prices. They say the chain is actually betting that the updates will bring customers back. And you can learn more about bridge replacements in the Northland today. MoDOT holding a public meeting on the I-29 and I-35 bridge replacements near the Bond Bridge. It will be at the North Kansas City Parks and Rec Department off Clark Ferguson Drive from 4 to 6. If you can't make it today, there's a self-guided virtual presentation on the project's website. The online survey closes March 12th.
Well, Kansas City, Kansas, one of the metro's most diverse communities, is considering a plan to temporarily block new detention facilities.
Unified Government Commissioners will discuss a potential 2-year ban at its meeting tonight. There are no reports of an ICE detention center coming to Wyandotte County, but supporters of the ban say it would ease concerns. Tonight's meeting starts at 5:30 at UG headquarters.
As for other detention plans in the metro, we know public pressure helped prevent an ICE detention center from opening up in South Kansas City. The company Platform Ventures announced they would not be selling a warehouse to the federal government to be used as a detention center.
Yeah, that is also after Kansas City, Missouri passed a 5-year moratorium on detention centers. Jackson County considering doing the same. Meanwhile, the future of the Core Civic facility in Leavenworth is unknown. The city is expected to vote on March 10th on a permit to grant its use as an ICE detention center. There's also ongoing legal challenges. A Kansas judge is expected to release a ruling tomorrow on whether or not that permit is needed.
You can improve the air quality in your home with just a few free habits. Consumer Reports is sharing those and some of the top air purifiers next. Improving air quality inside can make a real difference with allergies. KMBC 9's Donna Pittman shares some simple ways to reduce indoor pollution.
Air pollution isn't just an outside problem. According to Consumer Reports, the air inside our homes might not be as clean as we think.
So there are all kinds of contaminants that originate from inside, like those from cooking, from pet dander, even cleaning products that you use. So all of that adds up. Is especially problematic for people with respiratory issues like asthma, and even pets can suffer.
CR says it starts with a few easy and free habits. On milder days, open the windows and allow airflow. Avoid indoor smoke sources, including candles, incense, and wood fires. Run your exhaust fans in the kitchen to remove cooking fumes and in bathrooms to remove steam, which can help reduce mold and mildew buildup. If you have a forced air heating system, be sure to change the air filters every year or more frequently, according to the manufacturer instructions. Vacuum and dust often, especially if you have pets. For additional help, consider an air purifier.
Air purifiers alone won't remove all impurities, but if you've gone through the effort to keep allergens and other pollutants out of your homes, an air purifier can help reduce them further. And this can be particularly beneficial for people with asthma and other chronic illnesses.
This blue air purifier scored among the best for clearing the air on its highest setting. This Honeywell also performs well for smaller rooms. If allergies are a concern, take a look at your floors. Carpet can hold on to dust and pollen, while hard surfaces and washable rugs are easier to clean. Donna Pittman, KMBC 9 News.
Next at 5, a legendary Kansas City barbecue pitmaster has passed away. How Arthur Bryant is remembering Wayne Garrett. Plus, a huge consignment sale is about to start in Lee Summit. The big savings for your family just in time for spring. That's all ahead on KMBC 9 News at 5.